Hey treasure hunters, welcome back to Toolbox Treasures. My name's Trav. We out here in our local community, a little outside of our normal area, but we got a little Comic-Con we're gonna go to. It's actually one of our old malls. For all you younger viewers, a mall is a brick and mortar store that used to have a lot of stores in it. So we're gonna take a look in there and see what we can come out with, and hopefully we'll have something to share with you when we come out. All right, we'll check in here in a little bit. Woo! All right, guys, we are back in the vehicle. We just spent probably about 30, 40 minutes in this little con. It was actually really small. I took a couple pictures to let you know how big it was, but I think we stole the show. A buddy of mine who's a content member, Mr. Christopher Chalk, he made a pretty good score. We actually met him going in, so we walked in together and then showed each other some treasures that each of us would be interested in, and I spent just a little bit more money than I wanted to, but hey, that's why you come to these things. You can't put yourself on a strict budget. So we walked away with what I think was the three biggest scores in the entire con. So I'll give you a quick glimpse, and then once we get back to HQ, we'll take a more closer look at what we got. So here's just a teaser for what we got. Oh yeah, first Supernaturals and a couple of Vintage Joes.
Hey everybody, we're back at HQ. We're going to take a closer look at what we picked up at the con, and first thing we're going to take a look at is the toy line that has eluded me the most here in recent months and years has been Supernaturals. So when I walked up to this little booth, and this thing was sitting center mass on this little looked like something you would put a book on to display, and it was just sitting on center table, and it popped off the table at me. One, because of Supernaturals, and two, because it's orange. As you know, orange is my favorite color, and I asked the guys, like, hey man, I really like your Supernaturals, can I pick it up? And he said, yeah man, go ahead, take a look at it. And when I did, I said, how much you asking for it? And he gave me $25, and I said, would you take 20? He said, I can't, but I'll take 25. And I said, all right. So we met on his dime on 25, but at 25, this is still, I think, a good buy. You can look online. Most of these are going to go for probably close to $50. So getting it for 25 was still a great price. Now, the thing that I never had any of these as a kid, but the thing that I really love about them was this was during the hologram craze back in the 80s. So they had holograms, and that was the gimmick that sold these guys. Now, the thing about Supernaturals is they only had like maybe 1 or 2 waves, and the majority of them hit the sales rack. So back in 1986, this was on sale for 50 cents. So this was kind of that thing that you would find in like KB Toys or some of those other like overstocked toy stores. And apparently there's a lot of these out there that are still in package that people have bought and, you know, tried to resell or trade or whatever. But when I was getting this was the first thing that I bought at the con, but it was not the first thing I found. So I passed up on what I'm getting ready to show you, so I could make a quick loop and come back around and maybe get these. So when I was carrying this back to the first booth that I went to initially, the guy, he recognized me from other cons. We had a great little conversation about, you know, seeing each other at other cons and going to future cons and all that. And he made the comment, he said, oh man, I hate they put that on there. And I said, it's part of the story. And he goes, well, you can take that off pretty easy. And I said, I wouldn't dare do that because that's part of the story. So some people wouldn't have it. I love it. And the good thing about this is it's got a very, very clear bubble. A lot of these guys have a lot of yellow or tinted bubble on the bubble to the plastic, but this one is like perfect. So I'm really, really happy to have it. So going back to the first booth that we went to, they had these guys and they jumped off the table at me. So we got Free Fall and Ambush from the 1989 line of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. These are two of my favorite Joes from this wave back in the late 80s. So Free Fall was going to be your modern Ripcord. And in my opinion, I think he's cooler than Ripcord. I really like the figure, and I still have my original card and completed figure from the one that I bought back in 1989. So it is awesome to be able to have one mint on card to have with it. So this is not a reproduction. This is original, and the guy gave me a killer price on them. He offered me like a cash price and then a credit price, and then he offered me a deal with buying one versus buying two. So we went above our budget just a little bit than what we wanted to spend, but I couldn't pass it up. It was just that once in a lifetime. It was that toy karma. It was made for me. It was this guy. He brought this from his place to this con for me. So I couldn't pass it up. I had to buy it. And probably one of the coolest characters out of the 89 line is going to be Ambush. He came with some really cool accessories where you can make a little tent and camouflage. This is going to be your ripcord, your modern ripcord. So this is an awesome. These things are perfect. There's no bending. There's no creases. The bubble's perfect. The figure's perfect. And when I got them and I was looking at them, the guy was like, man, those are really good. I got them priced really well. And I said, I know you do. So I started kind of shaking them. He said, man, you can take them out. And I said, no, I don't need to take them out of the, because he had them in these clamshells, which I'm going to put them back in. He said, I said, I'm just kind of checking on the O-ring, the rubber band inside of it to see if it's still good. And he goes, that's a smart buyer right there to check those O-rings. He said, I didn't even think about that, but he said, I will from now on. And I said, what's the point of it just being destroyed inside the bubble and not being able to enjoy it? But right now, we're going to be able to enjoy it. And these are probably the best pieces, in my opinion, of that con. We did help our friend Christopher Chalk out. I think he probably got, if these are not the best, I think he got the other best item there, which was an Empire Strikes Back case for the Star Wars figures, and it was full of Star Wars figures. And believe it or not, I'm the one who was like, hey man, you need to come check this out. And he said, man, I've been waiting on you to buy it. And I was like, well, I done spent my money. So he was like, well, I think I'll pick it up. So I kind of helped him, go through it. And then he took it and went and bought it, and he got him a really good score. So between him and I think we stole the show with these. And the thing about it was I run through that thing really quick to take a quick look at all the booths before I bought anything. Bought the Supernaturals first, and then as I was buying that, I turned and looked at the line that was like still waiting to come in, and I said, these ain't going to be there if I wait any longer. So I just went and pulled the trigger. I was like, I scooped them up, just boom, boom. So we left plenty there. There was a lot of stuff there, a lot of loose, a lot of MOC, but we left a lot of stuff there for everybody else. But it pays to be kind and nice to people because, hey man, people remember you and they cut you some pretty good deals because, hey, you're a good dude. And Toy Karma, it played out for us this time because Toy Karma was looking out for us. So always remember, leave something on the shelf for the peg for the next guy, because the next guy may be you, it may be me. Be kind to one another. Keep digging in them boxes, because you never know what you're going to find. We didn't find nothing in no boxes, but we found plenty on a table. So we still got tons to share with you guys coming up in the future weeks. And stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know what you want to see. See ya.